I remember the last time I saw my cousin Freddie uh, was at his mother's Shiva call. And we were all sitting around, and Freddie, who was about to turn 70, and this may be why he got so pissed at me. He was about to turn 70, and he goes, 70 is the new 50, trying to make himself feel better. 70 is the new 50. So I said to him, yes, unfortunately, 71 is still the old 71. And he got furious. Absolutely enraged. Well, I could tell you, you want to talk about cringe-worthy memories? You got a minute?
Yeah, I got a minute.
Something's been going on lately. It's human, I suppose, that at any point you're sitting around by yourself and you reflect on a lifetime, and there are things you look at that were good moments, and there are things that were bad moments. Lately, the only things that are popping into my head are moments from my life that are the most cringeworthy and embarrassing, and they just, how the fuck did I do that or behave that way? It's making me absolutely nuts.
I totally relate. I honestly, I don't think getting older is all about that fantasy of you sit there in a fucking rocking chair and you remember all those good memories. Fuck no, you can't even remember them. What you remember when you made an idiot of yourself. Every one of them. Oh no, stop. You don't ever sit there and who does? Like somebody in a Norman Rockwell painting, he's just sitting there. Oh, what's grandpa thinking of? Oh, he's remembering the time he used to take your uncle fishing and they had such a good. No, nobody remembers that shit. They're all fucking dying. That's why Alzheimer's was invented. It's to give people a break from those fucking memories that are driving them nuts. Because you're going, oh, stop. And it's just like all of a sudden you go, I can't remember anything. What the fuck? What's wrong with grandpa? He can't remember anything. It's like, yeah, let the poor fucking guy relax. Fuck it, grandpa.
Then I must have selective Alzheimer's because I can't remember good things, but I remember bad, embarrassing things with absolute clarity. Like they just happened.
That's the Dr. Mangala. That's God as Dr. Mangala. He makes you forget all the good shit, and then you fucking relive all the crap till your mind snaps and you get Alzheimer's, and then it's like, whew, oh my God, I got Alzheimer's. Can't remember anything.
Well, I'm getting my revenge in that now when I'm remembering things that happened, I am consciously changing how I behaved and the result. And I'm going through these things one at a time, where I'm literally just reinventing my life and reinventing the memorable moments of my life, and just making myself look that much better so I can sleep at night.
That's a breakthrough in brain science, dude. That's because that's what they say, that when you remember, you're not remembering the memory, you're remembering the memory of the memory. And every time you keep repeating, well, why not step into the process? I think it's fucking brilliant.
I'm starting to get the belief that if you go through enough of those things, starting from when you were a kid up to last Friday, at some point you're rewarded by God or the creator or whoever's in charge of this mess, by him saying, yes, you get to live your life again. You've earned that. Now with the enlightened version of yourself, as opposed to the asshole version, which we've had to sit and watch for these last 6 decades. And all of us up here are just as fed up with you as you are. Okay. That's the foundation of what I'm about to say. So I was thinking, how would that play itself out?
That was my next question.
Practically speaking, how does one begin life again? So I said to myself, what if somebody came to me, just this apparition in the middle of the night, like Marley's ghost, And he said, okay, you win. You get to live your life again, but there's just one caveat. This life has to end. And we're not going to end it. You have to end it. And I go, that's suicide. And they go, yes, it's you call it suicide here, but in our little circle, it's merely the end of this incarnation. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what if that really happened? What if somebody came to me with that offer in the middle of the night? If it was true, that would be terrific. I get to start again and be the better person. But what if I was just insane? What if I was just crazy? What if I was just having a breakdown? And I killed myself for nothing. The joke's on me. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty hard thing to verify. And, anytime we have any kind of contact with that gray area of the numinous, we can talk ourselves into that didn't really happen. I mean, I was at a friend's house in Wales, and he's kind of aristocratic guy, and where all the bedrooms were, they were down in the conservatory. It's not that grand, like we're in Clue, but nevertheless, at the front of the house was like kind of glass encased room where they were having drinks. I went up to the top of the stairs to the other end of the house to have a piss and, I don't know, get something from my bedroom. While I was walking to the door, somebody tried the door handle, and somebody tried it very tentatively. Like, you can read the body language of somebody. You're on the other side and you're seeing they're turning the doorknob this way and that way, this way and that way. And they're a little uncertain as to whether they want to push the door open because, the door's unlocked. They're feeling that it's unlocked, but so they didn't. So I was 2 steps away from the door. So I opened the door. I said, it's cool. I'm done with the bathroom. So there's this was all on a landing. So there's 2 or 3 bedrooms there. So nobody was in my bedroom. So I went to the master bedroom. And I said, hey, the bathroom is free. And there was nobody there. I looked down the other one. There's nothing. I went downstairs. Everybody was down there having drinks. I said, who is it? Is somebody up trying to use the bathroom upstairs? No, we've all just been here. So now I said, okay, listen. Somebody was trying the door handle. It wasn't a friggin', the house wasn't shifting and the wind wasn't moaning and the door wasn't rattling. It was a very tentative person going back and forth trying the door handle. So we had a little laugh about it. But I said, that was a fucking ghost in your house, man. This house is 200 or 300 years old and you're all creepy fucking people anyway. And the owner of the house, who partially believes that he might have a ghost in his house, he's an old fucker, he's surrounded by ghosts. And the house is a shrine to his dead wife anyway. Everybody was like, they were uncomfortable. I'm saying, listen. Somebody tried the door handle. Somebody was trying it. It wasn't like, the wind blew and it rattled. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there was personality and tentativeness in going back and forth, turning the actual knob. And, but we're now I've absolutely, it was a small thing. It was just a fucking ghost trying the doorknob. Great, that's fine. But it was definitely a fucking ghost. I was, no, there's no way I'm talking myself out of this shit and saying it was the wind. It wasn't the wind. There was no wind. The house, there were no earthquakes. The house wasn't, built on fucking sand. It was built on fucking rock in the middle of Wales. There was nothing shifting, nothing. Somebody was doing it. I said, okay, I'm willing to accept it. So that's something I've never talked myself out of. But think of all the different times that you've had contact with something a little bit off. Maybe you saw some lights in the sky and wondered if they were a UFO, and you thought, oh, well, it was probably a fucking, stealth bomber testing itself out. And I just, saw it and was based 90 miles away. But this thing of if the, the after people come to you and say you can have a new life, but you got to kill yourself. Let's face it. It's not like me convincing myself, or talking myself out of the ghost trying the doorknob. Man, you got to have a lot of fucking faith to go, okay, you know what? They said I could live my life all over again. They didn't give me enough details, but nevertheless said, no, just end this one now. Let's go on to this new, happy, entirely, resequenced life of yours where all this shit has been removed, but you'd never do it. You can't kill yourself on that kind of stuff. You got to just go, oh, wait. Because me, I'd be negotiating and say, okay, well, this sounds good. Do I get to relive my life even if I just wait and just die naturally? Because I've done all this good shit, No, I
wouldn't want to wait to die naturally. I'm perfectly willing to kill myself, but not on their say so alone. And then, I agree. I would negotiate also. What I would say was, I go, look, I got the knife in the drawer in the kitchen. I can be dead in 2 hours. That's not a problem. But I'm going to need more than me sitting here wondering if I'm going crazy. You're going to have to show me something. You're going to have to give me some proof. And they'll get very smug and very arrogant and look down their nose and go, well, why do we got to prove something to you? I go, fine, fuck, no deal. On the other hand, if you're really serious about this and you're a loving God or a loving whatever that, a loving benefactor or whoever, you're obviously here to do me a favor. Otherwise you wouldn't be giving me the opportunity to live my life again. Everybody would love that. So give me a little bit more compassion and give me a little bit proof. Fuck, even John Denver got proof from George Burns. He made it rain in his car. Make it rain here in my house, and if I'm sitting here soaking wet, believe me, it's a done deal.
So that was my next question. If they say to you, okay, what do you need as proof? And you say, okay, make it rain in my living room. So all of a sudden, so the shit comes down, you're all wet. You're not going to talk yourself into, the neighbor left the tap on upstairs.
No.
Or the sprinklers.
Sure.
You're going to go, okay, no problem. I'm getting a knife from the kitchen drawer.
That's right. At that point, I'm all in.
Okay, what if Clarence says, okay, listen, I'm a low level dude. I don't have the ability to make it rain, but can you give me something easier that will work for you? And I'll see if I can negotiate it somehow. I can't make it fucking rain inside an apartment, but give me something else. Give me something a little easier, but that will convince you. So you go get the knife and just do it.
Well, the first thing that would occur to me is I would look at Clarence and I would demand to speak to a supervisor. I'd say, hey, I'm not going to kill myself on the say-so of a clerk, okay? If I'm going to have to be dealing with somebody with some authority, because if you can't make it rain in here, why would I trust you that you're going to have the power to give me an entire new life?
Okay, so now he goes, all right, I can't make it rain, and I don't know if I'm going to bring my supervisor down. So the supervisor comes down. The supervisor says to you, you know what? What you're asking for is metaphysically fucking weird, and it doesn't fit the channels of the way we can work. I can put you through to have a new fucking life, but I can't make it rain in this room either. Is there something else you want done? Because honestly, Clarence can't, I can't. I don't even know if my supervisor of our supervisors, Bob can't, I could bring him down. Let me see. Everybody gets down there. You got a whole fucking living room full of God's spirits, right? Everybody's going, Jesus can do it. But the truth of the matter is Jesus is a busy fucking dude, and he ain't coming to friggin' perform tricks for you. Okay. So here we are. You got a fucking contingent of afterlife emissaries, and all of them are saying, we can't make it rain, but give us something else.
Okay, I got something that is more in the wheelhouse of what we're talking about. It's consistent thematically with what we're talking about. And it would be every bit as absolute as a torrential rain in my living room.
Okay.
I'd say to them, you're offering me a second chance at life, an entire life. Here's what I suggest. Here's what I propose so that I know that you mean business. Give me a week. Give me a week in this current life, starting right now and ending 7 days from now, where I'm happy, where things are going well, where I'm behaving in a way that I respect myself, in a way that I never thought possible. And people treat me with that love and respect. If you can do that for me, and I feel at the end of that week that was the best week of my life. And if I get to relive my entire life under those rules and be that happy that so many people claim that they are for decades, then I will take the risk and I will slice my wrists and I will do it with a smile.
Okay. Now they confer. All of these afterlife emissaries are talking and talking, and they're saying, here's the thing, we can do that, but it doesn't look like what you think it will look like. We've already seen, we know how your entire life relived without all this shit winds up. We also know that even in the face of that, you're still pretty much the same guy without so many cringe moments. You are you. So we're going to do that. Try to notice it. Go out, say hello to your neighbors, do your thing so that you can feel like you've had that. And we're going to set that up for you. Okay. But be aware that you're still you. You will always be you. Now, they've told you this. Now you go out your front, you say, well, fuck it. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to say hello to a couple of my neighbors, you know? Now you go outside, which you don't do very often, let's face it. And you really don't engage your neighbors. So now you've done that, and your neighbors are like, hello, neighbor. How are you today? Like they're really nice. And you're like, surprisingly, that was pleasant. You know, it's like you drive down to the store, you know, the lady remembers that you love the carrot cake. And she says, you know, it really brightens my day when you come in and ask for the carrot cake. I'm going to give you an extra big piece today. You know, she's not giving you a lifetime subscription to, you know, Mad Magazine or anything, but she's giving you a fatter piece of carrot cake because she really likes, you know, who you are and that you love her carrot cake. Now,
Hey, but this is awfully simplistic. I wouldn't want to live my life if the benefit was getting along better with my neighbors and getting a bigger piece of carrot
no,
cake.
I'm just saying you're you, and they're telling you
I'm not me. That's the point. The point is I wouldn't be me because each cringeworthy moment, you know, have you ever been lost when you were driving somewhere and every wrong turn leads you farther and farther away from your destination?
Yeah.
That's what all these cringeworthy, back when I don't even know when the cringeworthy stuff started or I started paying attention to it, but back when I was, say, a young teenager, and I just started one cringeworthy movement, and then I would have to deal with my life as a result of those cringeworthy moments. And then comes the next cringeworthy moment, and you start playing a sort of prevent defense, where all of a sudden, because your life is veering off in a particular direction, that's who you become. That's who you are. Everything that I've done in the last 6 decades has been out of self-defense. When I daydream about this, and this is, you know, the minute the consciousness, the veil drops and I'm officially dead or whatever, that I would literally wake up at some point in my early life and I would look around and maybe one of my favorite, you know, ex-girlfriends is lying next to me. It depends how young I am, of course. And I'd realize this whole nightmare has just been a dream. Or I wake up and I'm in a hospital bed. And there's my family and my dead parents, but they're alive. And there's my doctor, and they're thrilled that I finally come out of this coma. And they go, "You've been in a coma for a week. Did you have any dreams in that time?" And I go, "Holy shit, that was just a dream." Waking up next to the girlfriend, I realized that was just a dream. And like many dreams, you kind of remember it in its vague, broadest sense. But in time, it sort of disappears, and you may remember the real highlights where you go, "Boy, I remember when I had a dream about when I was a kid, wrestling with an octopus underwater." That's about as much about that dream as I still remember. But I remember it enough to know that if I go swimming, look out for octopuses.
So what you're asking for is, you really want this all to be a coma. You
I'd
go
love it
back,
to be a coma.
you're 22 years old, you wake up out of the coma, your whole life is ahead of you. Your girlfriend is like, "Oh, Deke, I'm so happy. I'm going to give you a blowjob in the hospital," and your parents are there saying, "Wait till we leave." And everybody.
A blowjob in the hospital. See, already my life is 10 times better. That
See
would,
what?
I might kill myself just for that.